Hello, and sorry for the technical difficulties. Welcome to Roll Performance. This is session two, or part two, I should say, of our session zero, and we are going to follow the party as they go through the melting pot looking for the Fountain of Blessings. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
I'm a little bit worried about what you mean by blessings, but sure.
Oh, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And also, remain completely and totally unguarded the entire time. So, last we left off, you were leaving the No More General Store, having bought a few tents as well as some other stuff to make the travel better for yourselves.
I would like to go get my pack ready and everything.
Alright.
I would like to go ahead and start getting my horse set up.
Alrighty. Just a quick thing. Does Brad and Nate sound a little staticky?
Not
I
to
don't
us.
hear any static.
Okay, it's on my end for some reason. I wonder if I pause the ambiance if it does anything. Yeah, it's the ambiance that was causing it, of course. So, unfortunately, that means we're just gonna have to go, without any for a little bit until I can get that fixed. Not the worst thing that could happen. So, Arcris goes off to, or no, sorry, Jay goes off to his cart to get things ready and all of his belongings. What were you doing, Corin?
I am going to go ahead and get my horse all ready for travel, and afterwards grab my rucksack from upstairs.
Okay. Um, so you are going to be taking your horse and it's barting. You gather it from the barn behind the inn, and then you go and grab your rucksack from inside. What do Arcris and Norwick want to do?
I just go and make sure I have everything from my room. Make sure just my simple jewelry's on, and I'll be ready.
Alrighty. Um, Anybody in chat, let me know if you hear that staticky sound too, or if it's just my computer doing it. And what does Norwick want to do? Jen?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. I asked what Norwick wanted to do, and there was no response.
I apologize. I must not have hit the Alt key hard enough. For those watching, I apologize. I'm not camera ready. I'm actually getting over a cold. I apologize. Norik, Rinxie, I'd like to make sure I pack every book that I brought with me and make sure that I can go down and speak with the blacksmith.
Of course, I have my mic muted. Alright, so you go to the Furbolg blacksmith, whose house is right next to the funeral home. He is currently working on what looks like a set of nails at his forge. He sees you walk in, he takes off one of his large gloves, extends a hand to shake, and just goes, "Morning to you."
Good morning. I'd heard you are also one for the Numian, yes?
I'm an acolyte, yes. I run the funeral home next door. I follow the grave portion of his teachings.
Ah, yes, as always. Uh, well, I just came by, figured I'd say hi and ask, since you're local, do you know of anything that we should be aware of or out for?
Not particularly. This is a very quiet town, really.
Well, we'll be leaving shortly. Hopefully, we'll return within a few days' time. That's one can never be too careful, especially as the healer and cleric of the group.
Understandable.
And I do suppose if you do need additional help with any of the funerals by the time I get back, I am more than happy to help.
Greatly appreciated, little one.
I'll smile widely at him and then give a small bow and said, "Until we see you again, brother."
But
And
of
then he'll
course. All right. Do you want to get your stuff prepared and ready before heading out?
Yes, I'm gonna say he'd like to make sure he has his black and white with copper accent robes on. He's got his mace at his side and has his books slung at his either at his side or on his back.
Okay. Um, Philippe sees you all getting your stuff ready, walking by. He kind of folds his hands together and just goes, please all be safe. I don't want anything to happen to you, especially on my account.
No worries, no worries. We'll be quite safe.
If you're sure.
All knew me in's good time. I appreciate the thought, though.
All right then. Good luck, everyone.
Well then, I'll clap my hands together, turn around, look at the group. Shall we?
I'll turn to the group and say, I'm bringing my steed along, and if you would like, we can either stock up on extra water in case it takes longer than we're expecting, or we can potentially put some supplies on that instead.
We? Where is this we, sir? You're the person here who has the horse. How about you take your butt over to the general store, you get your water, and you can go right on ahead and bring your horse for some reason into the middle of the desert. That makes complete sense.
He'll roll his eye. Well, I would roll my eyes and simply turn to the rest. You care to not be encumbered as much. Obviously, he doesn't have to worry about this. Apparently, he has next to nothing with him. But
Now,
perhaps you'll.
being said, Philippe was told that no mounts were going, so he didn't prepare any water for the horse.
Having heard that, and say, water will not be a trouble for any of us. And say, I'm quite used to that spell, and of course, going out into the parched desert when we'll have to get water. At one point or another, water's more than taken care of. No worries.
All right. I'm basically offering up to use my horse as a pack animal as we go as well, if anybody doesn't want to be carrying, their camping gear and such like that.
Understood.
So, I'll go get my horse ready and stow everything in the saddlebags, and I'll be ready to go.
All right, so, the horse is loaded up. It seems to be doing well, and doesn't seem overly encumbered by the weight. Is there anything else that needs to be done or handled before you all head out?
I want to go to the blacksmith.
Okay.
I walk in. I ask the blacksmith, sir, I'm missing a few select items. I'm not gonna lie. I need a pair of. Can you make me? I need something to protect my hands, but more for punching things than anything else. Do you have something like that?
I don't really deal in things that do violence, or if I do, I try to make things that aren't going to be overtly lethal or painful like that. Sorry.
Yes, quite. How dare you not build weapons in your blacksmith? Being completely sarcastic.
Oh, I'm sorry. It says the monk so far away from his monastery in a lawless place when you're supposed to be a lawful people.
I mean, I haven't tried to break your skull in order to grab anything, nor do I think that would be appropriate. Pardon me for, I guess my humor is a little dry. I meant that as a joke. But I am trying, if you can make me knuckles, I'm procure for a small cacophony of small tools. Is there any way you can make me a few things involving tools then?
What kind of tools?
Well, I need some kind of hook, preferably for grappling. I need a lockpick, though I'm not a burglar, but I'm just preparing in case we need to get into someplace that might be locked. And I also would need two small metal bars bended at the front.
He hears all this, he thinks it over, and just goes, What do you need lockpicks for again?
I don't know, but considering that I don't think any of the rest of them out there are capable of breaking and entering, I thought it might be a good idea to bring something that I might be able to use to gain access to something that for the longest time in ages way long past have been locked, but we might need to get into for the good of humanity and all of that rubbish.
He hears this, he kind of nods. Go ahead and do a persuasion roll.
At that point when you lose your dice. 16 on roll.
Okay. Yeah. He, after a moment of inner debate, goes, I can make that stuff for you. It'd be ready in about 3 days.
Kinda in a hurry. What can I take off of that to speed off of that? Like, can I just get the picks and the grappling hook? How long would that take?
I'm sorry, but I've got destroyed houses and other things that really require my attention now. And he gestures to like the 10 nails he's made, and he goes, I've gotta quintuple this in the next hour at least.
How about this then? Can I use one of the? How long are the nails? Are we talking like standard nails, or could one of those actually be used to preferably pick an old school lock?
They could be used to pick a lock. They wouldn't work nearly as well as lockpicks.
So negative roll or a negative or a disadvantage for using them for lock picking?
You basically wouldn't get the bonus that you usually would for lockpicking.
Okay, I'll make you a deal, Dwarf. Skip, give me one of those nails. I can probably make do with that for what I think we're going to need. Can you make me the grappling hook? Isn't he a dwarf?
No, he's a furbolg.
Furbolg, pardon me. I forgot. Yeah, don't call him a dwarf. That will get me killed. I look at the furbolg and I say, okay, can you just give me one of those nails? I think those will do for what I'm thinking. And then can you make me the grappling hook now and then get back to work? I don't need anything special. It doesn't need to be perfect. So long as, I can throw it up somewhere and then be fine enough to climb it.
To make a decent grappling hook is still going to take a while. I have to bend, shape the metal. It's at least going to be a day.
Then I'll have to make do with that nail. I do thank you for your troubles, though. How much for the nail?
A copper. It's not even worth that much, really, but I can't charge you any less, technically.
I look at him and I kind of grin and mull it over in my head. I'll make you a deal. Since you said you can't do any of this right now, and I completely understand. How about I pay you right now for the grappling hook, and I'll just come and get it when we get back. Or if you're feeling so inclined, you can follow us into the desert. I'm speaking completely jokingly.
And he nods with that and just goes, I think what I'm gonna do is just I'll take the payment for the grappling hook. It should be ready by the time you get back. Just sorry I can't really do more right now. At least you're not that one guy who wandered in here trying 2 different ways to get me to make him a shield.
Well, I can understand that. Do you have any just metal plate laying around? How about that for a question? Just literally just metal plate.
Like sheets of metal?
Yeah, just a standard sheet of metal for whatever purposes may have you. Or a door, if you have like a metal door of some kind laying around.
I don't have a door. I do, however, have 3 sheets of metal extra that I do not need.
Then question for you real quick. How long would it take to shape said metal?
Into the grappling hook or into something else?
Something else, not a shield or anything of the like. I have an idea. I need a couple of... You're saying you have a couple of these sheets. Are they big enough to make a large foot brace? I'm thinking for the sand. It doesn't even need to be cut well. It needs to be, you know, I kind of outline what a kite shield kind of looks like. And I say, well, I need these because what I'm thinking is we're going to be skidding around, and it might help me move along the ground over in the sand pits. You know, I can use it as a board to get over the dunes and such.
You're wanting like a snowboard, but for sand, basically. Is that what I'm hearing, or are you thinking more snowshoes?
How does a furbolg in the desert know what snow is?
He's not from the desert.
Valid. It's more along the lines of sand shoes or sandboard, but yes, but I once again kind of outlined the kind of the way a kite shield looks, but it kind of needs to look like this, and I need like foot grabbers in the back. So like, can you kind of put like a grabby thingy so we can mount it to my back, or I can slip them on my shoes easy?
I think I could get something done quick. It's not going to be the prettiest. It could possibly break, but I can have it to you by midday.
But you can make 2 of them, right?
I can make one big enough for both feet, if you're wanting kind of like a board. If you're wanting the shoes, that's going to take longer.
No, that's fine. If it's one big, and once again, I outline the picture of a kite shield. If it's one big one like that, and it's got the foot holders on it, we'll make 2.
It's going to be kind of just basically handlebars that you're going to stick your feet in. You're going to want to go get cloth somewhere for padding.
I will figure it out from there. But if you can whip that up, we'll be fine.
Yep. And he takes your thrice drawn outline and basically takes it to the metal, and you hear him start pounding away at it, getting rid of the extra pieces, cutting off what's not needed.
Any way I can help to speed it up or anything?
No, I work better alone. And as you look around the shop, the tools and such are basically plus sized. Like, you would have a bit of a hard time moving them as they'd be awkward. Even the hammer is almost 2 hands for you.
I'll leave you to it then. You said about half day, so a few hours?
Yeah.
Okay, I go outside, I go back to the party.
Okay.
So, which one of you schmucks was harassing the nice furbolg in there over a shield?
Look at that.
Certainly not I. I simply greeted him this morning.
I had nothing to do with it.
I already have a shield.
I asked him if he... Good.
No, it's you, Brad. Go ahead.
I asked him if he would be willing to make a shield, since he said he did not make weapons.
Okay. And I kind of like look over my shoulder back at the thing to make sure he's not paying attention. Is he making enough noise that I can speak at a normal tone, or do I need to whisper?
First off, he's across the street. You're in the tavern if you're meeting up with everybody.
So we should be fine?
Should be. If you like, I'll roll a perception, and you can roll one to see if he's paying attention. but
Sure, why
it's
not?
gonna be hard for him to. Yeah, no. You could just glance over. He's actually paying attention to the work he's doing, trying to get this busted out.
I look at him. So, averse to the concept that I'm pretty sure you're about to drag your horse to death, I might have just tricked him into making you a shield for which is going to be labeled as sand shoes, and it's not going to be perfect, but at least you have a shield now. You owe me.
Thank you.
And I kind of look at anybody else. Does anybody else need anything made that I have to go and convince the nice little furbolg about?
I'm good.
I just smile up at you. Not a thing.
I kind of stop. I look down and I go, I really actually wanted to use that as a snowboard, and just kind of walk away back to the blacksmith to wait for it to be done.
Okay. Is there anything anybody else wants to do while they're in town for a little bit longer?
I
When I'm
cannot
in-
think of anything for myself. Oh, sorry, Angie.
Go ahead, Angie.
I just wanted to know if while in the room, my room, could I have asked my ex about the treasure, if it knew anything about it, or
So-
not treasure, but the item.
You sit down and you hold your battle axe and you ask it if it knows anything about the treasure in the desert. You watch as one of the axe heads from the middle, starting at the blade and inward towards the handle, splits into a thin mouth, an Invader Zim like tongue lolling out the side as it opens, just. Desert? What desert?
Could you remind me the name of the desert again, please?
The melting pot.
The desert we're right next to, the melting pot?
Old town. Clean water. Politics. Deceit. Nothing.
Treasure is it still there? Do you know?
It doesn't say anything past that.
Thank
Just,
you.
just those cryptic words. Hunger. Growing.
For
Sustenance.
which would be
You do know this if you
oh, my bad.
yeah.
In time. I'll try to get it to you soon.
Feed. Grow. And with that, the lips seal back up, the tongue slides inside just as the edge connects back together.
Got it. And I put my axe back and I exit the room.
Okay. Anything else, or are you good to move on to midday?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I just want to specify I'm leading the horse, not riding it at the moment.
Okay. So everybody gets everything ready. Gario, you head over to the blacksmith's, and he greets you with, it looks like the kite shield that you're hoping for, and he's smiling at you and goes, I've got great news for you.
And what is that?
I actually managed to get footholds on it instead of handles. And you notice that as he flips it, there is a place to hold the heel. There are specialized straps already put on it. I did roll to see how he did, and he did amazing apparently. And everything else like this. As a sandboard, it will work really well. But as he's made it right now, basically straps would have to be glued onto it to make it a shield.
Would I be able to tie a rope in between the two footholds to create
the edges of it are welded down, or however they did it back then, and the straps are made just to fit in the hole. Like, you could get some twine through, but the twine's not going to hold against many blows.
Copy. I'm gonna kind of.
He looks absolutely proud, by the way.
I say I look at him. I'm like, well, this is very excellent work. I couldn't have asked for a better thing. Do you want the least I can offer you, as hot as it is would you like some water?
I've got enough, thank you.
I mean, do you want any more money for this? I come from a world of, monks, obviously, but I do have some money, and you've done great work here.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. The idea of a little man like you going across the melting pot on something like this, entertaining enough. Just call it a copper.
Thank you for the work then. Here's your copper. I then will see the grappling hook when I get back, I'm guessing.
And you actually see that on the table next to him there are schematics drawn up. He goes, yes, how much do you weigh, by the way? I need to make sure that I use the right amount of mentals, it doesn't bend under your weight or anything like that. I'll give or take about 20-50 pounds, in case you need to carry something.
I think about it. I don't exactly ever weighed myself, but I'm going to guess somewhere around 150 pounds to 200 pounds.
Should be a safe bet. All right, thank you.
I walk to go meet the guys, and I go to Corin, and well, I've got good news and bad news.
Okay.
Okay.
Looking at Corin. Well, he made the. I'm kind of trying to figure out what I'm trying to explain here. It's a shield, and I kind of hold it facing forward, not showing the straps.
All right.
Gonna hear you, love.
All right.
Am I the only one who's having trouble hearing him?
Yeah, I can hear him fine.
I can't hear him.
I also can't hear him.
That's a cool trick.
Brad, can you hear me?
Yes.
Do a quick disconnect, reconnect.
I mean, I can hear him now.
Oh, you can hear him now? Wait.
I heard him that time.
Well, of course.
Oh, well.
All right.
Like we were saying.
Yeah. Brad had said, all right, to your good news is it looks like a shield. Or, well, yeah.
The good news is it looks like a shield, but the bad news is the way I explained it to him so that he would actually make the shield, it's not actually a shield, it's a board. So unless you plan on strapping it to your back and carrying it around, I don't think it's going to work as well as I thought. So I'm going to kind of take back the I owe you one part, but I'm going to at least keep carrying it until we get out of town so the Furbolg doesn't come over and maim me.
Is going to work the way that you described it earlier. Potentially use that if we need to close ground. I'm sure I can come across the shield at some point. And we're going to an abandoned town. They've had to have had at least one guard there. So, if you like, you can strap it to my horse. But to use it. I'm not very good at keeping my balance. Doing things unless it's got 4 legs.
I will hold on to it for now then, but I don't see a good use for a monk carrying around a shield. But who knows? Like you said, maybe we can use it as a little motivation room if we need to get anywhere quickly out there.
As you strap it to your back and get it out of the way, you notice that even for a shield, it is quite light. That this was made to resist things from the bottom and be stable, balanced wise. It's not. It wouldn't hold up against a direct bash to it. So even running over a rock with it or something like that may dent it. This was made
Copy.
just for soft sand.
Noted.
Alright, do you guys do anything else, or do you depart towards the... where hopefully the Fountain of Blessings is?
I'm ready to go.
Can I do a quick investigation around town just to see if there's anything amiss?
Yeah, we'll say you were taking a walk before everybody was leaving and you happened to just try and figure out if anything was going on.
Only an 11.
No, nothing seems overly out of the ordinary. Buildings are dilapidated or just not being taken care of the best way that they should be, but in a town like this, that's to be expected. The only building that you're really curious about from that role is simply the No More General Store and why it's a mission target to begin with.
Then I'm ready.
I should push the right button. I want to do a perception check too for 2 things. One, to try and figure out if anything. I'll roll twice if I need to. One, to figure out if I need to, or if we actually know where we're going, or general vicinity. And then the second one would be the same thing to see if anything's amiss. But I'm worried more if we're being followed.
Okay. I'll have you hold the being followed roll for when you're actually out of town when the following could start. I mean, there's no following, but for the directions, basically you are already given west by southwest and about 3 days of travel.
Okay.
But all right, if that is indeed everything, the party then sets out in the specified direction toward the desert, and it's very quickly becoming desert as you leave the town.
I would like to use my prestidigitation to change my colors to be more difficult to be seen in desert conditions.
So you're going to use prestidigitation, basically camouflage your clothing.
Yep.
Okay.
I would like to walk next to him in my shiny chain mail.
So you see this man cast something. His armor changes to a light brown, kind of yellowish. And then this man in shiny armor with a horse behind him starts walking right next to him.
Suddenly he smells that of foulness that he might have done something.
All right.
Corin I look back at my horse and go, well, I don't see any droppings.
And I will move away from him.
All right.
Given my small stature, I am probably high stepping to keep up with everybody. But at the same time, the whole time we're going on, it's like I'm very chipper, like say thinking to myself and then occasionally out loud, "Oh, I can't believe I'm going to be finally seeing This fountain I've been reading so much about. I can't believe it's real.
That fling nor did I notice that struggling to keep up, like lagging a little bit behind us?
Is who struggling or lagging? You kind of broke up.
Rick,
Okay. Um, Norik is moving slower than everybody else's normal walking pace.
a little bit, so I'm walking. I'll simply say, time. Head on Flint. Gesture to my horse.
Oh, would it be much trouble? I mean, I'm quite capable of keeping up. I mean, I managed here quite well, but if you're offering and the poor thing hasn't become so weighted in the sand.
Oh, after carrying me in full armor, I don't think he'll have much trouble with you.
Oh, if you insist. If I must get down quickly, though, does he have a word for standing still?
You bastard.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, then.
Just
And
stop.
I will climb up on the back of the horse.
Okay. So the small halfling is boosted up onto the back of the horse with the help of Corin.
Catch back up to everybody else.
Okay. All right. Who wants to do the survival roll?
Uh, are we allowed discussing it above the table or no?
You're allowed. Whoever chooses is whoever chooses.
Okay, I'll take it for +4.
I will assist him.
Because all your character has to say is, "I'm eagle-eyed. I'm good at looking." You know, it's like in real life. People are always willing to talk about what they're good at.
Nat 20 for a 24 on roll.
You're the one getting all the nats, it seems.
This is why I didn't want to use Google Roller.
I'm not saying.
Where's that
cheating.
spin down?
Where's the spin down? Yeah. You don't need to handicap yourself. And he's gone. Alright. With a 24, you definitely managed to stay on track. You even believe that you're making better time than was previously thought.
So how far have we traveled? Have we just added more time? Have we just gone farther more time wise?
Yeah, basically, it's like going 70 for a while and a 65. You've made more time than it was expected of you. You're about, we'll say, hour and a half ahead already. It's only about 5 p.m., we'll say, because you had to leave midday.
Copy. So now my character definitely, are we being followed?
Okay, go ahead and, well, that was a survival check. Go ahead and roll me a perception.
12 on roll plus 6, 18.
Okay. Let's see. No, doesn't seem like you're being followed.
Copy.
Can I make an investigation to see if I see anything of value while we're going along?
Sure.
I'm guessing with a 6, I do not.
The axe that the human male is carrying is very unique, to the point of you've not seen anything like it ever. But that's all you get with a 6.
Is there how can I put this? Are we sure we're going in the right direction?
Yes, with the 24 that you got earlier. That is
Copy.
keeping you on track for right now.
I'm gonna walk up towards the horse and look at Norik. You've studied a lot about this place?
Well, not the desert per se, but this fountain. It's wondrous. It's. If there had been one back in the temple, I'm sure my family would have gone quite out of business.
Do you know if there's possibly any treasures in, around, near the fountain, other than the fountain itself? Of course, I understand.
Would I know anything of that nature, Hazen?
You do know that it was common practice that if you were to take of the fountain, you would leave a copper, a silver, if you could afford it, a gold piece, and kind of as a tribute.
Best of my knowledge, no more than the donations of thanks to the fountain and those who have kept it up after the fact. But after so many years, I could not count the amounts that might be set within it.
Thank you. And I just kind of walk back on my own.
Can I do an insight as that one walks away from me, please?
Sure. Arcris, are you going to try and hide any of your intentions or anything like that? Or at least
I don't have anything to
deflect them?
hide.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an insight.
I have a 21.
This person is from the Merchants Guild. They're probably just trying to figure out a way to make some money. Would you say that's a fair enough thing for Arcris?
Exactly.
Yep. So just looking for the next paycheck.
I'll probably give a small frown afterwards, but nothing much at this point. I mean, we've clearly not reached it yet.
Alright. So you guys go for a few more hours. The sun starts to set and the heat starts to come off of the sand and be replaced with cool winds. You hear the sound of a couple scarabs every once in a while. Maybe a desert hawk will fly over, but nothing much in the way of animals. Are you going to, as it reaches evening, are you going to set up camp, or are you going to push on and either camp later or just try and pull an all-nighter?
Oh, it's quite cold this time of night in the desert, but it might also help to rest the young horse. What do you all say?
I'm going to start putting my camp up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Norik,
gonna start doing that too. Sorry.
You're good. Norik, you have had to have been careful for a while because the some of the metal parts on the saddle and even some of the metal of your own armor was getting extremely hot to the touch. And you could just now feel it all starting to cool off.
Perhaps it would be better to wander by night some other time, but we are all quite tired, I'm sure.
You guys do what you will. I'll be up for at least another 4 hours. I'll wait.
I wish to hop down off the horse and begin setting up my own bedroll.
Alright. So there are 2 tents set down, there's a bedroll set down. Did Corin set anything?
Get my bedroll out, ready for meditation.
Okay.
A little bit of padding. For that, dry shrubbery or brush to fire because that the desert gets cold at night.
Okay. And you just let the horse go to graze?
Since I have been traveling with this horse, I have trained it, stay near me. I'll let you graze for a bit, and then we have to stake you down, basically hobble it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Up until I go to bed, I'll let it graze for a bit.
Okay.
I'm going to stay awake for the first 4 hours. I'm going to be constantly on. I'm going to be on watch for 4 hours,
Okay.
and then I'll meditate for 4 hours.
All right, then go ahead and give me a perception check.
18.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You see some animals in the dark, kind of looking around you guys, and then looking at you guys, trying not to stare directly into the fire. These look like cobras.
Perception check to figure out if they're hunting, or
Give me either an insight or a nature check for that.
15 on insight.
They seem agitated for some reason. They don't seem like they're hunting, but your presence is greatly upsetting them.
How many cobras?
There seem to be about 6 of them.
How far are they away?
About 20 feet or so.
Is there fire in the middle of the camp?
Yes, but it's not overly bright. It's about the size of a torch because there wasn't much brush to gather to keep a fire going.
Who's the closest person to the snakes right now?
Arcris.
So you said there is some sort of light already lit.
Yes.
I take a torch out of my backpack, quickly run over the fire, light it, stand in between the snakes and Arcris, put the torch down, and start waking up Arcris.
Arcris is in their tent, so you'll have to climb inside or shake the sides of it to try and wake them up.
Shake the sides of the tent. Hey, Arcris!
I assume I stumble awake at that point.
Yep. The side of your tent is being shaken. There's light outside of it, and you hear just a constant...
Is that what I think it is?
Yeah, we got a few unhappy, slithery bastards out here. You might want to wake up. I'm going to keep them, because I'm going to guess they don't like the flame, right?
They seem adverse to the flame, but they are starting to get closer, like going around the flame towards you guys.
Have I heard him doing all this?
Did you start your trance?
No, I was going to wait until he went to sleep.
Okay.
That way, there's 2 at watch at the same time.
Then, so wait,
I
if
mean,
you're
I
going to
just ran across camp and lit a torch.
Yeah, no, you definitely saw that. But if you're going to wait for him to go to sleep before you sleep, then that takes 2 people out of watch.
Yeah, but there's a group of
Right.
5 people.
Yep.
We both only need 4 hours, so that's 2 other people taking watch.
Yep, but you do notice.
Stand up, see him start waving the flame around. I am going to cast Control Flames on the campfire and make a solid line across the sand in front of him.
How far can you move the flames?
60 feet.
Okay. You could make about a 5 foot line. It's not overly long because there wasn't a lot of fire.
Okay.
And the snakes seem to back up from it, but they still are working to go around. And then some of them are starting to kind of circle the camp too.
Hey, Akris, sorry to ask you about this. While me and Horseboy over here are taking care of this, can you go wake up the other two quickly? I don't think we have much time before these things decide they're going to come in for a bite.
At this point, I've already panicked and I've tried to get out of my tent, and I'm rushing over to the first place I can get to, probably stumbling.
Yep. So the tent is closer, but you see Norik sleeping out in their sleeping bag or their bedroll.
I instantly just start shaking. Like, no, like, this is a human. Like, just, wake up. Panic mode.
So you go to the tent and start shaking it, or you're shaking
No,
in fear?
I'm shaking Norik.
Okay.
Like, literally physically shaking Norik awake. I, like, have no sense.
Gotcha. So Norik, you are thrashed awake by a panicked human.
What's wrong?
There are snakes. We need to get the snakes.
Oh, Zidle, put me down.
I put him down and then I go to the tent.
Okay. Norik, as you kind of get your bearings, you watch Arcus run over and start shaking the side of the other tent.
Do I wake up?
Do I know?
Yeah.
Sorry. Do I notice the line of flame or anybody else standing up between these creatures?
As you rub your eyes, you see the line of flame. There's only about one cobra being kept back by that right now. There are about 4 or 5 others that you can see that are around the camp.
Okay.
Am I awake now?
Yes.
Pretty much
I'll
the
get
same
out.
thing.
All right.
FYI.
As everybody is awake, the cobras decide that they are done waiting. I need everyone to roll initiative. Okay. Should have get the page open.
Initiative is still just a d20, right?
Yep, it's a d20
Yes.
plus your dexterity modifier.
Oh, thank God. 11.
Okay, what's your dexterity modifier?
4.
Okay, you just beat out one of the snakes.
I was guessing as much.
Dirty 20, if you please.
Okay. Dirty 20 is Norik. Okay.
14.
Alright.
16.
And for Jay?
I got a 22.
Lord, man. Okay. What's your dexterity modifier? Nate?
+3.
Roll a d20 for me again and add your dexterity modifier. You get the same number, it's just we're seeing who goes first. Oh, never mind, you go first.
I rolled a 1 + 3.
Fuck, roll again. Okay.
Wow, these are some weird snakes.
6 + 3.
Okay, it goes before you.
So what I'm hearing is you both just rolled snake eyes.
Yep. Ironically. I have to roll 2 more. Okay. Arcris, what's your dexterity modifier?
Excuse me, I was looking right at it. 1 second.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't ask in a easy move time.
Never. And apparently I don't know exactly where it is either. +2.
Okay. These snakes just love to go on everybody else's initiative counts. I've got so many wonderful numbers they could choose. Okay, and then I just need to check one thing to have it down. All right. So, a snake is going to go first. This is a snake that is by Norik, and it is going to slither up and try and bite you.
All right.
The bite is +5. Does a 14 hit your AC?
It does not.
The little snake reaches up, goes to bite you. You think it's got you, but it just sinks into the leather of part of your armor, and it takes a moment and frees itself, reeling back a little bit. Okay. Then it is Jay's turn.
Are any of them clumped together in a 20-foot, 20-foot, whatever?
So the camp itself is about 40 feet across, and they're encircling the camp. There's maybe 2 or 3 together that you could get with a 20-foot cube.
Okay, and how many of them are there total? 4?
There's 6 in all.
I'll get as many of them as I can in a cube that doesn't affect everyone else, and I need them to take a, let's see, a save.
Okay.
Oh no, sleep doesn't have a save, does it?
No, sleep is just health. So you roll, I think it's 5d8, and you tell me the amount, and I'll tell you how many you put to sleep.
$27.
Ooh, okay. And this, if I remember correctly, sleep goes lowest to highest, correct?
Yes, it does.
You worry for a moment because you're going to catch Gario in it, and then you remember, oh, right, elf. So Gario, this like poof of white smoke happens around you. You kind of have to blink a little bit to get rid of it, but nothing seems to happen. The 3 snakes closest to you pass out. They just fall over into the sand before curling up to sleep.
Which one of you guys just farted?
I point to Corin.
I just look down at my hands. It's like,
All right. Are you going to want to use your movement or your bonus action for anything?
Are any close to me?
There's one within about 10 feet of you that you didn't get with the sleep.
I will move 30 foot away from it,
Okay.
not towards any.
That would move you basically towards the middle of camp.
That'll work.
Okay. And then we move on to Norik.
so there are 3 asleep around Gario, and there are 5 more, you said?
There is 3 more in total that you could see, and there is 1 right up on you.
All right. I am gonna have a swing at it with my mace.
Okay.
$21 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
Six damage.
So this thing rears up. It's about as tall as you when it does, and you just kind of give it a look like, get over yourself, and crack it in the side of the head, snapping its neck instantly with your mace.
Poor thing. It was only trying to survive, but it had no reason to come after me.
On the
Are
flip-
you a
Oh, go ahead.
half-wit? They're trying to kill us.
Alright, so I need to get rid of that snake. Alright, does Norik want to do anything else on his turn?
I'm a halfling, sir, and I'll thank you to remember it.
Pardon me, Shorty. Now, can we go back to killing the snakes?
He will use his movement to get up on them, or at least closer to the last couple.
Okay.
And then would you allow me to bonus cast Shield of Faith on somebody?
Absolutely.
I will put that on the monk.
Alrighty. So, Gario, after you shit talk this little halfling, he spins together a little spell in his hands and throws it at you. It looks like a bolt of energy that's about to hit you in the gut. You think, maybe I shouldn't have bad talked the person with powers, and just as it's about to hit you, it springs around you into a protective force field.
Now,
This whole time he's got like a very small grin on his face.
question about that spell. Does that update my AC, or do I have an HP shield?
You get a +2 to AC, so your AC is now 20.
Help. I look at him and go, can everybody just stop shooting magic at me?
One of these days it might come in handy.
Alright, and that is the end of Norik's turn. We are going to go to Corin.
Okay, how far away am I from the snakes?
There's one about 15 feet from
Okay. Second question. I've been able to teach Flint a few commands over the course of the time I've had him, correct?
you. No, you cannot use Flint as a beast companion.
Okay.
You can call him to you with a bonus action. I will allow that.
Well, riding horse has the additional ability to use their hooves to attack, so I was thinking about I may have taught him trample, and he sees something that looks hostile and tries to run it over. But as it is, I will just run over to the one, take my long sword.
Okay. So you're just pommel striking it?
Oh no! I'm trying to
Oh, okay, you're gonna try it.
mince this little fucker, but I'm two-handing. for
Okay.
extra damage.
And you don't have a shield, so you can do that.
Yep. I'm guessing an 11 doesn't hit.
No, it's just a little too fast for you, unfortunately.
I'm just going to glare down at the little fucker.
Okay.
It is a +6.
Is there anything? Well, I don't think you can use your bonus action yet because you're not level 3.
Nope.
Okay. So now we're going to move on to another snake. This one is the one right in front of Corin, and it's going to try its own hand at trying to bite you. Natural 20.
Of course.
So 5, Oh no, sorry, I did that wrong. I'm gonna re-roll entirely. So that's 5. Ooh, you take 5 piercing damage and 10 poison damage, and you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
No, I do not, because I'm passed out on the ground.
Okay. So this thing bites you. Everything starts going fuzzy. You grasp at your neck and just into the soft sand.
I've only got 13 hit points.
And this is why these things are evil.
Oh, Arcus, you saw that. You saw that snake.
They're evil and I hate them.
Let me guess,
Alright.
it juked my sword and just immediately launched itself at my throat.
Yeah. Don't you know this snake has 3 levels of Battle Master?
Oh no.
Alright, time for another snake. This one, after Arcus, you look and see this other snake bite you. You look down and there happens to be one at your feet.
Go away.
I know, how lucky for you.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna roll the damage.
I love it.
I don't like the sound of that.
That's better. You take 5 piercing damage and you take 4 poison. And I need you to make a con save.
Oh boy!
Norik, do you feel like you buffed the right people?
8.
I wish I had taken that shield.
Oh, wait. Corn, make a con save real quick. Because I did this wrong. I read it incorrectly. You might still be okay.
It damage and then the save, and if he fails it, he gets poisoned and the damage occurs next round.
Well, no. That's what I thought it was. If he saves, he only takes half the poison damage. Nope, he's down. Yep, so that's it. Arcus, it's your turn.
Is it still latched on?
It's just pulling back.
Okay, might I add, I am full-fledged panic. I am literally just like, I don't know what to do. This thing's gonna kill me.
Oh, you're
And I
panicking?
just-
How much health do you have left by chance?
You really want to know the number?
Yes.
1.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
18.
Okay. You feel the axe start to invade your mind with its fight or flight response, but you managed, in your panic, basically to keep your mind so slippery it can't hold on. You are in control for this round.
X.
Okay, roll to hit. Actually, I'm going to let you know this. This is your first time doing Warlock. If you do your Warlock's Curse, like the Hex thing, as your bonus action, and you kill it, you do get some like temporary HP back.
Well, there we is.
So figure out what that does real quick. Like, look at your thing.
You said my. You talking about Hex or Hexblade Curse?
Yeah, it's like Curse of the Hexblade or something like that. Like, not your Hex spell.
Basically. Okay. Yeah, it's just +2 to damage rolls, etc. I see it. So yeah, as I pull out my axe and just wave it around, I go away like curse.
Okay, so anybody who is still up and glances over sees this axe open its mouth and spit forth a black fog that envelops this snake and seems to wrap around it. And then go ahead and make your attack.
17.
Okay, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Are you one-handing it or two-handing it? Oh, you have a shield on. It's one hand.
Yeah, it's one hand. Oh, 11.
Okay. You, for a moment, get a small bit of clarity and just guide the axe right through it to the point where you overswing and bury it into the sand a little bit that is now stained red. The snake's body squirming and flailing as the head is cut off. So, whatever temporary HP you get from killing the thing that's cursed, you get that.
Oh, it calms down a little bit, but still just like, where's the next one?
Yep.
And then I think I'm good.
The axe just like breathes in the curse as well as some of the blood on the ground, and you feel that vitality transfer to you. There is another snake over where Corn's body is. It's about 20 feet from you. But there are some sleeping ones the other way that you can go take care of now that should probably be dealt with, and not the awake one that could bite you. If you so wish.
How far away are the sleeping ones?
10 feet. The closest one is 10 feet.
I don't really want to be closer to any of these periods. I think I'm good.
Okay. Then Arcus just stays where he is. Now it is Giaro.
Okay.
Or Gario, sorry.
So you're good. So they're all asleep. So do I catch them flat-footed?
You can either attack the ones that are asleep, or you could go over to where Corn is laying down with the awake one. But if you attack the ones that are asleep, you get advantage.
I'm gonna go towards the ones that are on Corin. The one that's on Corin.
Okay. So you move over there. You've got enough movement to make it there. Go ahead and roll your attack.
I keep on throwing it across the table and falls off. What is it? Is it just D20 plus what?
It's D20 plus your dexterity modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay, it's 11 plus 4 for dexterity, and I don't know what my proficiency bonus is.
Plus 2 right now.
Okay, so that's 15, 17.
Okay, yeah, that definitely hits. So go ahead and roll your damage. If you're just using your bare fist, it's a D4 plus your dexterity. Okay.
That would be 7 on first attack.
Okay, so you just walk up to this little thing, you like 1-inch punch, and you hear it snap as its head just, and it falls right over.
Okay. Bonus action, I'm going to take one of the antidotes out of my pack and slam it down Corin's throat.
Okay. So you do stabilize him from any poison damage, but he is still unconscious for right now.
And then was I close enough that it doesn't count as a move action, or am I done?
You've used about all your movement to get there, so that would be it. You guys are now out of initiative, as the sleeping snakes won't be getting up for a while.
Can I go over there and snap all their necks?
Okay. Yep, you can.
Good.
And Norik, you do notice that someone is passed out on the ground.
I'll cock his head. It's like, yes, the cleric's work's never done. Say, kneels down, and I'm going to use my... You know what? For sake of... I'm sorry, I lost my train. For sake of flavor, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds in reverse.
Okay. So, anybody who's watching this little halfling kneeling down by the elf, you see him rub his hands together. Black necromantic energy starts to form around it. And he presses it down against him and floods his body with said necromantic energy. And suddenly, Corin coughs up the now neutralized venom and sits up with how many HP? And also, if you want to say it more, than you're more than welcome to.
Sandra Eric. I need to roll it. Excuse me.
Okay. Wait a second. How did you get Sandro from wounds?
Trying, Hazen. Just trying.
Okay, just curious. It took me a moment as I was reversing that. I'm like, wait.
At this, I go back to bed.
Okay. You see everybody dealing with the snakes. Gario is off snapping their necks, and they don't wake up in time. Arcris, are you coming down from your panic attack?
I finally start coming down. I'm just like, tent. I'm going to go build laying back down. And start
Okay.
making my way towards the tent.
Gario
I
stops her.
cast- I cast Prestidigitation on my tent to make it look more natural.
Okay.
I stop Arcus in his tracks.
May I help you?
What's with the axe?
It's my weapon.
You're gonna have to give me more than that.
I found it like this.
Roll. I'm trying to figure out what's with the axe. Do I need to roll religion, perception, anything like that?
You could try to roll an Arcana to figure out if you know anything about the magic of the axe. You can roll a Insight to see if you could glean anything off of Arcris.
Okay, so background question mark. So since I am a child of the voice, the background of the character is children of the voice, which means I've done studying with monks and bards.
Mm-hmm.
So not bardic knowledge by any means, but is this something that would be standard in the Arcana?
No.
Okay, so I will do insight check then.
Okay.
I'm rolling on like 2 inches of desk here. Insight 13 on roll plus 4 for 7.
Okay. Arcris, are you wanting to roll Deception to just try and have
I
it
mean-
left at that?
I mean, everything I've said has been true.
Technically.
It's still true. Oh, sorry, it was cockeyed, but that's even worse anyway.
You weren't holding the button.
I'm talking to myself. Sorry,
Oh.
I moved my screen, so I still don't know where the layout of things are on the page. Sorry.
You're fine.
That is a 9.
You get the feeling that Arcris himself doesn't really know. He seems to be truthful that he just found it that way, but he seems the kind of panic you get when something that you don't understand is going on. Like, say, if an earthquake were just striking, that kind of face.
I kind of look down at the axe and kind of look at him and I go, shouldn't play with things you don't understand. And I, feeling that I'm actually being told the truth, I walk away.
All right. Do you make your way all the way to your tent this time, Arcris?
I'm going to stay. After that, I'm going to sit at the campfire for another couple of hours and then I'm going to meditate.
Okay. How much health did Corin get back now that he's gone?
11 HP.
10 hit points.
Okay. One off. Now, did you add your wisdom modifier to that? Or no, the spell already does that. Or do you get to add extra?
Yes, I added the extra.
Okay. Just trying to help. I know this isn't a class you're versed in.
Appreciate DM. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Brad, did you hear that you got 10 hit points back? Okay.
Yes.
So you've spit up the neutralized venom, and you are sitting up. Everything seems to have been dealt with.
Well, apparently it was not your time this time. I'm happy for that.
I sit up, rub my neck, and just say, "Thank you, little one."
Anytime.
I officially do not like snakes.
No problem.
Perhaps,
Okay,
perhaps
go
we
ahead.
were in their territory. It happens once in a while, I do suppose.
Hazen, how far into the watch were we?
That's about 3 hours in.
Ugh. Tell you what. Who here can stay up for a couple hours?
You go to bed there, Slimy. I'll stay awake for a few more.
Mark will look up at the stars like, I could do with a bit of stargazing for a time. I'll join you, if you don't mind.
I'm pretty sure that people like you need a little bit of sleep, especially after casting your spells. Maybe you should, as much as I appreciate the concept there, oh magical being, maybe you should get some sleep.
The force field is still around you, by the way.
How long does it last, by the way?
I think it's 10 minutes.
I believe a minute.
Oh, it might
No,
be a
10
minute.
minutes. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
okay.
No, I was just making sure. Yeah, I'm trying to convince her to go to bed.
Okay.
Being still cocked at you, it's like, do you not wish for company?
I'm a monk. We kind of do the whole silence and solitude thing where I come from.
Ah. Well then, I bid you good night. And he will tuck himself back into his bedroll. But if you are in need of healing, please do wake me up again. I have no problem waking up at the moment's notice.
I just nod and keep watch on the sand.
You notice it does take Norik a bit to go to sleep, only because it takes about 6 or 7 minutes for the shield to finally fade. If you want, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Dirty 20.
Okay. You don't see anything terrible. Two things you notice. One, there is a dune right next to you that if you were to practice your sandboarding, it would have you land right at camp just in case anything happens. And another, you notice a clutch of white things in the sand by one of the tents.
A clutch of white things. Insight?
You'd have to go and look at them to figure out what
Yes.
they're.
Yes.
Okay. As you walk up and look at them, you can see they are eggs, and you're pretty sure, given the circumstances, they're snake eggs.
Fantastic. Do I know how long they've been eggs?
You could roll a nature check.
2?
I mean, they're somewhere between the laid and born state.
Who would have guessed? Okay, I'm going to. Well, how about this? I'm going to do 3 things. 1, I want to milk all the snakes of venom. What
Okay.
little bit I can get out of them, even though they're dead. I want to pick up the eggs. Do I have anything that I can keep the eggs in safely? That's the question.
What do you have in your inventory? Do you have a backpack? Do you have anything that could be turned into a sack?
I've got a backpack. Definitely have a backpack.
Okay, then at least a backpack. Though you'll have to be ginger with it to make sure they're not crushed.
If I were to dismantle a tinder box, could that be made into a nest?
You could kind of make it a sardine can kind of thing.
Okay, then I'm gonna dismantle the tinder box,
Okay.
turn it into said carrying case, put eggs inside, sand to keep warm, and then stick in. Instead of my backpack, can I keep it? I'm trying to think if a robe would have pockets. Probably not.
Probably not, but you could tuck it in like the waistband because you'd have, say, like a sash or something like that, at least at the waist, to make sure everything stays on.
I like it. That's a good idea.
Okay. And I'll say you take a little bit of cloth, wrap it around it too, so the eggs stay in. Don't jostle too much.
And then, so you said, well, monk's robes, tunic, whatever you want to call it. I go up said hill, and then
Okay.
I want to do another perception check to look around before I practice using my sandboard thingy.
Okay.
Or go up there just to watch, actually. I'll wait.
All right, so go ahead, roll me another perception.
21.
Okay. You watch the ever expansive desert in the night, and it's actually a very serene, very peaceful place to be. And then you notice off in the distance, just as something breaks the sand, it looks like a cloud forms, and then you notice a giant purple arch forming as something goes beneath the sand, above it, and back under the sand.
Is it towards where we're going or from behind us?
It's actually towards the north, so not even in the direction you're going.
Is it coming towards us?
No. But from as far away as this thing is, you can tell that it is absolutely massive.
Do I see what it actually is, or is it basically just a thing?
You'd have heard tale just of some of the biggest creatures when you were younger. Kids would argue, like, a Tarrasque is bigger. No, a dragon's bigger. One of the things brought up was a purple worm.
How far is it away?
Few miles. Like, quite a bit.
And it's not coming towards us.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to stay up there. I'm not going to bed. I'm keeping my eyes on it.
You're not gonna trance at all?
I'm going to suck it up. I am not laying my eye I'm keeping my eye on that thing. If it goes out of sight for any reason, I will go to bed. Otherwise, I'm keeping my eye on.
Okay. Every once in a while, you see it pop back up again, about the same distance away. Sometimes it's a little closer. Most of the times, it seems to be getting farther. You imagine it's hunting or something like that. About a few hours pass, and then Corin, you finally rouse from your trance.
Kami rises, taking a bite.
Of course. I think it'd be easy ever.
I look around for the monk or whoever's on watch. Do I need to roll perception?
Sure, go ahead. Just for the funsies.
Uh, 14.
You see him sitting atop the large sand dune beside the camp. He seems to be staring off into the distance powerfully. Maybe he's meditating.
I will walk up there.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, you can go to sleep.
Gario, you hear someone trudging up the hill in armor. It is the other elf in the party, although much less stealthy than you.
Quick question. What kind of elf is he?
High elf.
Just had to make sure of something. So I hear him coming up. Obviously clinking.
Yep. Clink, clank, clink, clank. Little bit of slipping in the sand every once in a while just from the weight of the armor, but he recovers.
Finally took you waking up. Not taking my eyes off forward.
I needed some rest. What's got you so focused?
I point out in the distance. Is it still spawning or whatever you want to call it?
Yes. As he points, you see the giant purple arch of a creature burst out of the sand and then go back in underneath.
I will do a history check.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was a nat 2 plus something, so... No, I have no idea what that is. I'm just like, oh shit, that's big.
From the cold mountainous region that you're from, you have heard stories of like Bahir and stuff like that kind of having bodies like this, but as of right now, you have no idea what it is.
Any idea what that is?
I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely a worm of some kind, and we definitely need to make sure it doesn't get any closer.
All right. Well, it's kind of hard for me to get up to the top of this dune, but I have no doubt it'll be much easier to get down it. You go take your rest, and I'll keep an eye on that bastard in the camp.
I kind of look at him. I look down for a sec. I take the sandboard off my back and I put it on the ground. I look at him and go, just sit on this when when we're all awake, and then you can slide down. It'll give you you'll take 20 seconds quicker. And then I go down, set up my bed, but instead of just sitting it up normally, I kind of bury it in the bedroll in the sand a little bit, and I kind of tuck the clutch of eggs into the sand a little bit as well.
Okay. So you see Gario, he leaves the sandboard shield for you, and he slides down himself, having no real effort going down it. And then you set up, then go to sleep. I need a perception check from Corin.
Oh, hot damn. Okay, that is a 22.
Okay. Besides the worm-like creature to you, resurfacing every once in a while, there's no real problems that you notice. You definitely notice that as far away as you are from the mountains and everything like that, with more of the sky being open, it's still in some places the same sky, you know.
And Flint's doing all right down at camp?
Yep, he's doing just fine, munching on grasses he could find every once in a while.
Okay. I'll pull out a whetstone, just start, maintaining my weapons.
Okay.
And looking up at the sky.
Alrighty. So, the last 4 hours of watch go by. Nothing important happening. A few sparks lighting up the area you're in where the moon doesn't, but other than that, the sun starts to rise on the horizon and morning breaks.
I will go wake everybody up.
Okay. So, are you going to hop on the board?
Fuck it, let's do it.
Okay. Give me an acrobatics.
And I make sure to yell loudly before I do so, incoming, so everybody can see this.
Okay.
Oh, my acrobatics is amazing. It's a +1.
This is positive.
15! Not
Okay.
bad!
You get down on the board, you yell incoming, and start sliding down. You have to wobble a little bit where the dune's not quite even, but you manage to slide down, and you look around, and you're completely totally fine. You didn't capsize yourself and fill your armor with sand. You did well.
Well, definitely going to have to do that some more. That was fun. And
Kind
I
of
walk
rub
over.
my eyes.
Good.
Kind of rub my eyes and halfway with one open and just kind of look at him coming down the cliff or coming down the dune side.
Yep, and you see him come down. It's not overly graceful or anything like that, but he doesn't eat it at the end, so he does well.
So are most of us awake now?
Yes.
Go ahead, Angie. I apologize.
Oh no, it's okay. I was just saying I was gonna poke out and start taking my tent down.
You poke your head out and you don't see any snakes. The coast seems clear.
I put on my armor, put up my stuff.
Okay. So tents are taking down. Bedrolls are shaken of as much sand as they possibly can be before being rolled back up and packed back onto Flint.
I use prestidigitation to get all the sand off my stuff.
Okay.
Did we have what would equate to a long rest?
Yes. The interruption wasn't long enough to mess with it.
All right. When I wake up, I'm going to stretch wildly and say, well, good morning, all. I'm sure everybody would like a drink before we leave. I will create water for everybody, and say, including for the horse.
Into what?
That's a very good question. Does anybody happen to have a bucket?
I take a sip from my water skin. Actually, I take a sip of wine from my wineskin.
Okay. Some morning wine to get the day going.
I just take a drink from my water skin because I don't have a bucket.
I take a drink from my water skin.
Everybody just awkwardly. Corin, do you as well take a drink from your water skin?
No, I pick up this kite shield that I just slid down on, and I use it to dig a hole.
Okay, that'll work.
Please tell me you take like tip and try to like. I can't use both hands, and I really want to like just manhandle it up corner in mouth like ah.
No, like I'm digging a hole in the sand deep enough that it's not shifting as much, and it will hold the water for a little bit. That way we can also water Flint.
Ah, well then, perfect. And say I will make sure that it goes into there and say, bring the poor thing forward. He's done quite well over the night. And say, wouldn't have him get dehydrated beneath me now, will we?
All right, so you cast the spell. The hole fills with water. Flint leans his head down and starts to drink from it, taking a little bit to do so, but he eventually drains about, we'll say half of the hole, because I'm not going to say you dug enough to hold the water for the entire spell. And anybody who wants to, now that a horse has drank out of it, can refill their water skins from the hole. You haven't used that much, just putting that offer out there. D&D is a magical thing.
I mean, Corin doesn't give a shit, so yeah, he'll top off.
I like not drinking horse water. I don't know about anybody else.
I agree with him.
Well, I did offer before the little one drank. It's your own fault, I'm afraid.
The fun of a halfling calling someone a little one. All right. So for setting out, I'll need a survival check.
Am I still fine?
So
18 on roll.
Okay. You get your bearing, you know where the correct direction is, and you're happy that you're right, it is not in the direction of the worm. And you start everybody moving.
On that note, I'm going to tell the Arcus to go on ahead a little bit, as I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to know about the giant snake in the middle of nowhere. I'm just kind of going to tell her to, like, can you just walk ahead and give us, like, 4 minutes?
Can I
Please.
insight that?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
As he's doing this, I'm scooping up Norik and setting him on Flint.
Ah, thank you kindly.
Like that.
I totally got this, guys. I know everything with a 5. I promise.
And you're
12.
Do you want to roll a deception, Gario? I didn't see what you got.
I
What
got
is
it
it?
too.
2.
What's your mod? What's your mod?
-1.
He absolutely has something that he doesn't want you to hear being talked about. Like he is you're positive that it has something to do with you, and your mind goes back to him questioning you about the axe.
Is it about the axe again?
It is not about the axe. Surprisingly enough, even though I still don't trust that thing, I do trust you, and you should trust me, and just walk that way and give me 2 minutes, please.
Fine. And I just start going.
I update everybody else, except for obviously the guy who already knows about it, about the huge giant freaking worm in the middle of the desert to the north. And I warned them that I'm pretty sure Arcus is fearful of snakes at this point and probably shouldn't be talked about around him.
Would I happen to know anything about said purple worm or what they are? Hey,
Roll me a history check.
16?
You've heard of purple worms, and from his description of it being large and purple, you're pretty sure he's right.
Purple worm, yes. But they're not a snake. Are you sure it's not quite the problem? To tell him.
Giant, scaly creature with mouth bigger than all of us combined on top of each other. And you want to tell the person scared of snakes?
To make sure they are wary, yes.
Once again, oh short one, I do question your judgment. But you know what? If you want to go over and tell the lovely person about the giant scaled beast, you go right on ahead. I will wait right here.
As Norik seems to know something about this thing. Actually, you know what? No. It's too early in the campaign. I am not making a joke this early.
What a blessing you are to all of us. All right, but with that, before Norik breaks this news to Arcris, we are going to take a 10-minute break.
See y'all in a bit.
What?
And we're back. Alright, so I do believe Norik was about to go inform Arcris about some of the natural flora and fauna.
Well, perhaps if he comes to ask about it, and then we'll inform him. I will certainly not be lying to him about it, things we're asking.
Okay. Does anybody motion for Arcris to be able to rejoin the group, or does he still have to go stand by himself like he's being scolded?
I will yell, Arcris, we're good. Come back now if you like.
All right, now that you're done talking about me, can we keep going?
100% truthfully, we weren't talking about you, but I will be honest, we were talking about something that you definitely won't like, so I thought it best not to tell you about it. That is the honest truth.
I'll take it.
Alright. And with that and the 18 survival, you move along your way, getting through the first half of the day with no issues whatsoever. And can I get a perception check for people?
Dirty 20, if you please.
Okay.
$19.
Okay.
17.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
11.
All you had to do was beat 10. So, you notice that there is some sand being kicked up about to the full-on south of you guys, and you notice it's a small caravan.
Now, when you say caravan, does it look like a caravan of traders, or are we talking a caravan of bandits?
What was your perception?
17.
These people seem armed, but they don't seem to have any reserve to them whatsoever. They seem to be enjoying themselves, hooting and hollering. Vagrants maybe, but bandits no. Nothing about the stuff they have screams ill intent. There's no chains on the side of carts. A few people are armed, but not overly.
I'm going to stay at the highest. I'm going to be near the party still, but I want to stay on the highest dune that I can still see north.
Okay.
And I'm just going to, before I leave, I'm going to look at them and say, I'm guessing most of us can see the nice people over there. I don't know a lot about worms, but I know they don't like loud noises, so I'm going to go up there and go watch and make sure that our happy... And then I stop. And I think about it. I'm just going to go watch to the north.
Yes,
and
they are traveling north.
What did you just say?
Don't worry about it. I was talking about thing. It'll be fine.
But didn't he just say? Did I catch that?
Yes.
No. You're misinterpreting. I said urn. I'm gonna go watch the urn. This little vessel I'm carrying, and I kind of pull out the egg box and I kind of shake it around and put it back. It's nothing you need to worry about. I promise. And then I go up the hill.
First off, before I even... No, I'm not even gonna... I'm just gonna go...
Look at Norik and say, I'm going to need to borrow Flint for a moment.
Why? You mean to go inform them?
Rather than them heading somewhere they're not equipped for.
I can certainly assist if you wish to go also, but I also understand the poor thing may be overloaded then.
Vaughn, between the two of us, maybe a little bit. After all.
How far away are they?
A good 200 feet. If he sets Flint to sprint, he should reach them in about 2 minutes.
Okay, we're near a dune.
There are a few dunes. Overall, Gario went to go stand on one.
I'm going to prestidigitate. I'm going to prestidigitate on the dune writing that's in large, legible script that there's a purple worm and point towards the direction it's from.
The caravan does not seem to take notice.
Now that it has actually been written purple worm, do I know what that is?
Give me a history check.
For the love of God, please fail.
And then I'd like to make prestidigitation, like lights in the air to try to get there.
Yes, you absolutely do know with a 19 what a purple worm is. And
Yes.
as you crest the hill to go read this and then look up as that fear grips your gut, you see it crest and crash down.
So you do consider it not worm-like, but reptilian-like.
It's hard to tell from this distance. What it is gargantuan.
No, I'm just saying, like, if Arcris knows the purple worm, this would literally set off if he's actually scared of it or not.
It's a worm. It's not actually snake. Its skin might be hard like scales, but...
I look out there and I'm like, oh. Yeah, let's just stay away from that.
But
well,
Arcris
if you
seems
didn't
fine.
warn them, off you go then.
Oh, Corin has been
Insane
riding.
gargle.
I'm guessing. Yeah, because you guys had your exchange. So atop the horse, you had cracked the reins and you're riding just and it takes you a little bit to reach up. The first thing you notice as you catch up to the caravan is the one heading it has about a 7-foot tall, what looks like human woman. She's got blazing red hair just flowing in the air from the wind and how fast the cart's moving. And she looks over at you and she just gives you, "It's kind of weird to see strangers out here. Welcome."
Welcome as well. A purple worm that way.
A what?
Straight forward. Just slow down.
And she'll pull on the reins, just, Bob, slow down. And the two horses pulling the cart will stop. The cart behind it will also stop.
Slow sprint. Just a trot, and I'll warn you, we're coming from direction of worm to the north.
A giant purple worm, and she just kind of throws her head back, just, why do you think we're headed that way?
Going after it.
Hell yes, we're going after it. I've never hunted a worm before.
I think I like you.
And she reaches her arm out, like kind of leans over the side of the carriage seat to you and just goes, Crystal Chico.
Reach out and grab her in that, like, going forearm and just shake. One, Midran.
And you feel the squeeze like is tight on the armor. This is a giant woman. And
what was her name again?
Crystal. And Crystal, after the arm shake, jumps down from her cart and she just kind of gives a whistle and she's like, "Girls, get out here. We got company." All of you see this, by the way. This large woman step off the cart after it's been stopped. Another one stops. You see a tiefling come out, and then a woman who has, for some reason, a small rock flying around her head.
So we can all see this, but we're not near it, right?
You can kind of see it from the distance you're at. It's not crystal clear to you, but two women come out of the carts to greet Corin.
Okay. Is the worm getting any closer?
Doesn't seem to be.
Okay.
And you don't know their intention either, that they're hunting the worm. All you know is that they stopped.
I'm gonna stay right there, and I'm just gonna kind of like, and then just keep watching the worm.
Okay. So the tiefling comes over to you, and she's got kind of a lopsided grin as she looks you up and down, and she goes, "That's a lot of armor, and that's a nice horse. You've got money, don't you?"
I went to getting the horse and the armor.
Oh,
to be prepared.
Oh, but a big, strong man like you could make some more money quick, couldn't you? If you answered, I didn't hear you.
Easiest to come by in this area.
You still cut off. I'm sorry.
You need to pull it up there.
Work isn't the easiest to come by in this area for Merc.
Oh, but you're a mercenary, and if you're out here, you have a job, don't you?
Also traveling, looking for it.
Go ahead and roll deception. What'd you roll?
14.
Yeah, no. She just smiles and goes, "Aw, big boy has to hide his secrets." And she comes up to you and she just kind of like runs a hand down the arm and she goes, "I could use a man to take me away from this kind of life and give me some of the gold so that I could get by." At which point Crystal grabs her by the back of the shirt and lifts her off the ground to sit her next to her and just goes, "And that's enough of you, Gwen." And she's like, "I hate this work." And she goes, "Yep, but you're good at it, and you're my daughter."
This, am laughing.
Yeah. And the tiefling is pouting hardcore. She no longer holds any interest in you now that she's not getting money out of you.
I'll look over to the final one and go, so we have Crystal, we have your name be.
She smiles and she just goes, "I'm Clarissa."
Obviously, my warning wasn't necessarily needed.
Crystal just kind of smiles in that and just goes, "That's appreciated. You couldn't have known that we were the kind of people to go and hunt that kind of thing."
Oh. Size of it, if you manage to take it down in town to let me know so that I can buy you a drink, because that's a story I want to hear.
You don't have enough gold to get me a drink. And you would expect the girls to be laughing, and otherwise Gwen just shakes her head and goes, "She's right. She'll drink a tavern or two out of business."
At least I want to find out the story from you.
And the woman looks up, Clarissa looks up to the rock that's floating above her head, and she just goes, "We're going to miss it if we dally any longer." And Crystal hears that. She hops right back up in the carriage. She goes, "All right, we're moving. Nice to meet you." At which point she snaps the reins, just, yeah, move! And gets the carts moving at full speed, to the point where Gwen has to sprint and actually jump in to not miss being left behind.
I will just give a grin and say, "Group of women." Back to the group. Quite as Not riding quite as fast because I'm right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just let everybody know.
Yep.
Kill it. Down. Put back on Flint.
So you're all told about that small group and how they're gonna go kill a purple worm, and Norik's put back on the horse.
Oh, they're going to hunt it, are they? Well, fine luck to them, I suppose.
I call down from upstairs. Please, for the love of all that is unholy in this world, did you just say they are going to hunt that damned beast?
Yes.
I kind of just look at the beast and look down and then think about it. How many were they?
Oh, if I had to guess, magic. I didn't really notice too many weapons, but then again, they may have had something in the cards.
Hey, you keep it distracted while we do our stuff.
So, question of the day then. Do we continue or do we try and follow the caravan who I'm pretty sure is going to the depths?
Do we have enough supplies to go do that and go, or are we gonna have to waste more time and waste Philippe's time?
You are given enough to be able to get there and back. You are a bit ahead of schedule, and they're not far away, and the worm's not more than maybe an hour, 2 hours away by foot.
I'm all for a good story, but what happens when it eats them and we're nearby? We're the next snack.
Hey, truth. Jill and them can. We've got a job to do. I say we do our job. So it's in.
All right, so that's one vote to go watch, one vote to finish the job. I'm guessing Nate or Jay's vote is also to finish the job.
Yeah, Jay has no desire to be the next lunch.
Fair enough. So Arcris and Norik.
Finish the job.
Okay.
I do wish them great speed. If they are in need of healing, I will always be there if we need them, but we gave our word to Philippe.
All right, and with that, you continue on your way. If I could get another survival roll. Survival roll.
Uh, 10 plus, damn it, survival. 14 on roll.
Okay. It takes you a little bit after watching that to get back on track, but otherwise, you manage to get where you need to go. You don't lose much time really, besides just simply what you used watching them.
Can I stay on top of the dune as we're walking and continue monitoring the worm, or are we going away where there's no way of keeping eye contact?
To go the correct direction, you have to go back down the dune.
Copy.
All right, so you continue on. It's mostly eventless. You go across the tracks of the girls going after the worm, and they get to evening, and there doesn't seem to be any problems. The sun is starting to set. The desert is cooling once again. sorry. I was just gonna say, if Philippe is to be believed, hopefully it should be within the next day that you guys reach the town.
Does that mean it should be within eyesight?
You can try and find a high enough dune to look.
I'm going to try and find a high enough dune to look.
Okay, so go ahead, climb the dune, and give me a perception check. Are you taking the sandboard with you?
Yes.
Of course. As you should.
11.
Okay. You don't really see anything. That could also just be the desert heat coming off the sand is messing with any visual abilities at the moment.
I'm gonna take the board back down.
Okay. You do, however, you don't notice the worm. And go ahead and give me a acrobatics check.
25.
With no problem whatsoever. You just set the board down, you jump atop it, and you ride it down, swerving every once in a while just to bleed off some speed so you don't go crashing at the bottom, and you kick up a little sand as you land at the bottom.
And that is how you use this board properly. And I kind of like, big chest it a little bit.
I literally do the golf clap. Golf clap.
I will turn, seeing that he is happy with himself, I will grin and then immediately turn back to my books.
Okay. Do halflings have dark vision?
Don't know.
It would be under senses, which would be the first screen towards the bottom of the left.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so it is hard to read the book. You're having to strain your eyes.
I believe we put up a campfire, but if I'm mistaken, I am sorry.
I don't think camp was set up quite yet, was it? I think you guys stopped to perceive to see if the place was safe to do so. Yeah.
Apologies.
Yep.
So, can't see. So I can't. Is there any chance I can spot the worm, or there's just nothing?
You didn't see the worm whatsoever, and you were on a decent-sized dune. So either you've traveled so far that it's no longer in view, or it could be dead, it could be digesting its meal. I mean, even for something so big, 4 horses and 3 people are substantial.
I'm gonna kind of like go back. I'm gonna kind of come when I'm down and like, well, I can't see the town. I can't see the people either. But the good news is neither can I see the worm, though that's not innately good or bad, but it's something.
Would you feel better if I asked the Numian if he had taken them on?
Who is the Numian?
Oh, I forget. Well, I am of the House Jarasco, but I suppose not everybody worships the Numian. He's, well, to put it plainly, he's the death god.
So let me get this straight, young cleric. You're a cleric who worships the god of death.
Yes.
I kind of stop, look down. Very well then. I bid you good day, and I immediately walk away.
I will get to my knees and I will start praying to the Numian and ask him if he can tell me anything about the travelers we had that Corin had crossed paths with.
Okay. Are you just simply saying a prayer, or are you casting anything?
I don't know if there's anything I can cast that would assist with that.
Okay. You don't get any response whatsoever. You send your prayer out to the Numian. You know it is received and that he has heard your words, but there is nothing in the way of information given, or there doesn't seem to be any omens sent to you of any sort.
Well, he's silent, so... Well, it perhaps means nothing, but in this case, perhaps it means that they are still alive. That is something.
If the god of death has no information for you, I'd call that a good day.
I am going to go ahead and DM here. The Numian is more the god of the process of death. Not Thanatos, think Hades. He handles the processes of death, like his clerics are the ones who prepare bodies, who will go out and face the undead if needed. But
So he's the Grim Reaper.
No, he doesn't kill. Like the only thing he is strictly against is undead. He is more the one who makes sure that your loved one has a safe trip, make sure they go to the right place. Think of it like a vacation booker, basically. He's just like, all right, you're going here, stamp on the forehead and send him off. So he's tied to death, but he is not he's not known for like being like, why did you kill them, Numian? It's more Numian, give them safe travels.
King Yema from Dragon Ball Z, perhaps?
Kinda. That's a good indication, although a lot more silent and somber.
Okay.
Yep. Just wanted to flush that out a little bit just for the Numian's impact on the world. Now, you as a person can still just go, ew, gods.
I'm putting my tent up.
You're putting your tent up? Okay.
Well, apparently I had a brother back in the blacksmith in the town we just came from, and you seemed not to have any significant issue with him. Or is it that you're just opposed to the gods, perhaps?
I kind of stop and I look at her and quizzically pull out my I guess you could call it a signet, but it's like an amulet necklace thing that has Agma's symbol on it. Do you know who Agma is?
I'm using more of a homebrew set of gods, so no, I don't.
Copy.
Explain it.
Well, we can get that figured out. It's still session 0, so it's no big worry. You can explain the god, and I'll give you an equivalent if you like, or if you want to stick with Agma, I'll figure it out.
Well, that's no problem. Agma is is technically the god of bards, but she's worshipped by the children of the voice, because of the whole monk bard group who worships the gods at the same plane tries to update their knowledge, which is why I'm not supposed to be fighting. So think god of knowledge and spirituality.
Mm-hmm. I'll get back to you on that. But for right now, we'll say Agma.
But amulet of my god, and I put it back in my chest. No, I worship the only god who makes sense in this world to me. You can have fun with your fade away god of no answers. You have fun with that.
Would I be allowed to do a history check or any kind of check to determine who this Agma might, or what that sigil might be related to, Hazen?
You will once I have that figured out.
Noted. Well, at least with that, you'd be and say you're welcome to visit temples anytime, but now you can understand why healing comes second nature to me, yes?
You worship a god who likes to help people on their way to death. No, I don't understand your thought process, but God bless you and all that. I kind of do a very sarcastic version of the not Hail Mary, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
with do appreciate a good theological, but there is one more pressing question to watch. Between the
Uh,
I'm
two
more
of
than
us,
willing. Sorry. Go ahead,
Brad.
Brad.
would you like to split it between the two of us? That way we can cover the full 8 hours and the full night's rest? Or should we break it up into 2 hours? Couple hour parts between.
I kind of stop and I go, I took first watch last time, and considering we both can see in the dark just fine, I don't think there's a real care on either side to which one of us goes to bed first.
Okay.
Couldn't hear you, Brad.
I think he said he'll take first watch from the little I heard.
I'll take first watch.
Okay. Is everyone going to rest then?
I did
Yep.
set up
I am.
FYI, because I didn't get to say that earlier, right?
I thought you did, but I know
I
Jay
don't
did.
remember.
Okay. But yeah, you set up your tent. Okay. Corin, I need a perception check then.
And I'm setting up my bed with the buried sand and the eggs, same way I did last time.
Okay.
Oh, 18 on the perception check.
Okay. You don't seem to notice any problems. You don't seem to notice any giant worms. You don't notice any carts. You notice a lot of stars, a lot of sand. Sometimes the sand blows and looks like it's mixing with the stars. But besides that, it's a very slow and enjoyable watch.
Once my watch is up, I will go. Gario.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it's your turn, and then I'll go.
So I'm gonna go up after he wakes me up. I'm gonna go up highest peak in the area, whatever that is.
Okay. And then go ahead and give me a perception roll. I can't see the dice. Even if you got it close, I'm not going to be able to see it with the preview window.
8.
You don't notice any creatures come by. You don't notice the worm or anything. It's a very boring, slow watch.
I mean, is there a way that can I call out a passive perception on that if I get a bad roll, or is passive perception just as I'm walking?
Passive perception is more or less noticing things without having to roll, that kind of stuff. With an 8, I'm just gonna say you watched, but you were bored and you didn't expect trouble twice. The most you did was open your little container with the snake eggs, maybe out of boredom arrange them by size.
That actually brings up a thought process. Did I get any venom from the snakes?
Roll me an animal handling, a very long past animal handling. We'll say you used your now empty antidote container to do this.
21.
It's about a fourth of the way full with just straight venom.
I literally just thought about that since we were talking about this.
No, you're all good. I forgot that you asked about it, and it's my fault that it passed without resolving. But yeah, you've got a little bit of venom, enough maybe for a dart or the tip of a dagger, a little bit. You'd at least get one poison strike in, but you doubt you could do repeated.
Anyway, so nothing going on over the 4 hours?
Nope.
Okay.
Because you're an elf and you've already tranced, you can do a double watch with no penalties. Or you can make it someone else's duty so you don't even have to worry about watching. It's up to you.
I mean, he did the first 4 hours. Aren't I doing the second 4? So that would bring us to morning.
I usually have 3 watches in a night.
Then yeah, I'll do a double watch.
Okay. Yeah, like unless it's something like you guys have literally been fighting to the point where it's 12 a.m., then 2 watches will be enough. Just go ahead and roll me another perception.
22.
A lot better. You see some creatures scurrying about. You notice a couple scorpions, but they don't seem to have any interest in you guys whatsoever. But yeah, it's a little bit more interesting because you at least have creatures to watch now, but there's still no events really that happen.
Good.
All right, and with that, morning starts to break.
At the end, before I go down, and still nothing around going on. No worm, no caravan, no nothing.
Nope, no sign of that whatsoever.
Copy. I go down to wake everybody up.
Okay. On the sandboard?
Of course.
Acrobatics check.
Nat 20.
You feel it. Like every single curve of the dune is just your playground. You get down to the bottom, and as you do, you just kind of spin. And as you land, I'm just that good.
I do believe I'm getting better at this.
Corn, you would have been awake at this time. Oh, you would have been woke. You definitely saw that.
You gotta unmute your mic to do it.
Bad. Not bad at all. Can I borrow that for a second?
Sure, why not?
Dig the hole again.
Okay.
That's done and everybody else is getting ready.
Apologies.
I want to go try.
Okay. So, everybody gets up. There's already a hole dug for water. Corin is trudging his way up the dune, sandboard in his hands like a child would have a sled.
I will have taken Flint's reins and then cast the create water spell.
Okay.
And then look over, it's like, for those of you who wish to drink before the poor horse drinks.
Oh, that's right, the horse. I need to roll. Yeah. Horse seems a little off. Like, they don't seem as interested in the water, even though they definitely should.
Am I able to do a medicine check on Flint?
Sure.
So medicine plus intuition. Okay.
Yep, so you roll a d20 plus a d4.
15.
You think that Flint has a touch of sand colic? Which just basically means that because the plants around here are so loose, sand is getting stuck to the roots of them and is starting to sit in his stomach.
Oh, you poor thing. Well, the only thing to say, I'll grab him under the chin. So the only thing to fix that will be to flush it out. He must drink and drink well.
Okay, give me an animal handling.
Nine?
You take the horse to water, and eventually you do get it to drink some. It seems to do a bit better, but you're gonna have to try and keep pushing fluids with it for a few days to try and have this pass. Disclaimer: I don't know if that actually does get rid of sand colic. I am not a veterinarian. Always check with them if your horses are getting sick.
What's the best way to flush anything out when you're sick?
Right.
Good,
I don't
eat
know
good,
the
sleep
effects. I don't know the effects of passing sand through a horse's urinary tract.
You don't pass it through the urinary tract. They have to shit it out or puke.
Okay, that's
there
fine.
You go.
But I will inform Corin of this if he comes down from the dune ever.
Yeah, acrobatics check, Corn.
Okay, let's say.
Fall.
What?
I'm a witness! Nat 20.
Jesus.
It's nowhere near as graceful as the way Gario did it, but you do manage to slide down pretty well on this sandboard.
Everybody carrying the sandboard must now always get a nat 20.
The sandboard's curse, it is stuck to you until you nat 20 slide. Are you getting flashbacks to Hadrian trying to stair surf? Except this actually works because, you know, it's a surface that you can slide down without really hurting yourself.
Completely forgot about that.
Yep, so he makes it down, he's all kinds of happy, and then you see Norik with a confused, or concerned look on his face, I should say.
What's wrong?
I don't think the sand's agreeing with him.
Oh, we are saying is how it works.
Saying how what works?
Make them drink more water.
Yeah, just push liquids, and hopefully it should pass. It's just right now he doesn't seem too keen on eating or drinking anything.
Alright, I'll look at him and say, drink. And try and do an animal handling if that's okay.
Go ahead.
11.
With him having already drank and everything else, he tries, but he doesn't get more than a few laps.
Scratch him behind the ear.
He seems like he's ready to keep going, though.
Scoop up Norwick.
Don't worry, if I notice anything more amiss, I will be sure to tell you.
All right. Survival check.
$12 on roll.
Okay.
19.
Okay. It takes you a little bit, Gario, but Norwick points you in the right direction of which way to go. You only travel for about 3 hours before you notice something sticking out of the sand. Something really light gray, almost bleached white.
Perception check.
Sure.
From my books, does this look anything like what I've been told the fountain would look like, Hazen?
Not really. This is a very, very small thing. The fountain was quite a large building. Or, well, structure-ish, whatever you call it.
17.
It looks kind of like a bird bath that is coming out of the sand.
Is it? Well, that's my perception of it. So I'm pretty sure that's a water container of some kind. I think we're probably close to standing in the center of town.
That you wouldn't really know if you're in the town or
It's
not,
a
because
guess.
there's no buildings or anything.
Can I roll a investigation?
Sure. What are you trying to investigate?
I mean, I've been around a lot of settlements. I've been around, I know what a burnt down, abandoned type settlement looks like. I want to see if this looks like it used to be a settlement.
Okay. Is anybody going to get closer to the bird bath to investigate it? Okay. Gario's going, Corin's going.
Do
Me
I
too, please.
see it?
Yes, you all see it.
16.
Okay. Do you approach it with them as you investigate?
Cautiously, but yes.
Okay. As you investigate, look around, you don't see any indication that there was a town whatsoever, except for this little structure. However, as you get closer, you notice that the bird bath is bone dry and does have a small hole in the middle of it. Like in the middle of the basin, that is.
He the only
Can
one that
I-
sees this?
You all see it, but he's the only one that might have an idea about it. But go ahead, Arcris.
I don't know what role you'd consider this. I'm assuming it's investigation, but to check out like the bottom part, like start kind of digging and investigate that.
Sure, I'll say investigation.
$17.
You start to dig at the sand and everything else, like as the base starts to grow wider, and it goes down for a bit. Like you're not reaching the bottom or the base or anything as you dig with your hands.
Do I happen to get an idea of what this might be?
You've got a pretty good idea.
No. This thing's huge. I keep digging.
Okay.
If
Can I-
Norix... Sorry, go ahead, Nate. Sorry.
Can I use prestidigitation to start cleaning up the sides to see if I see roadways that may have been taken away from the desert?
You could try. You can just kind of use prestidigitation to take like the top inch of sand off of things to see if there's anything beneath. Go ahead, Norik, real quick.
I was about to say, if I notice Arcris digging, I'd like to assist, please.
Okay, so those two get to digging. Jay, as you start to move sand with prestidigitation, you do come across a small little metal fixture.
Okay. What's it look like specifically?
It looks kind of like a lizard arm. Like it's very, very thin, kind of like tin made out of. It's still buried. You only moved some of the sand off. If you want to focus the prestidigitation, you could move more of the sand because you're technically cleaning it.
That's what I'll do.
Okay, so you focus the spell on it. The sand moves off of the piece of metal, and what you reveal is it is a lizard, like kind of newt-shaped weather vane. And you go to pick it up and move it, but it's attached to something.
What direction is it currently facing?
Now that it's free, it kind of creaks and moves with the wind, but it was pointing towards the west.
I'll point it out to other people, and I will continue going around the side, seeing if I can find more of these.
Okay. As you go to step away from this weather vane in the ground, you take a step towards the bird bath that they say is huge, and your foot kind of sinks more than it should. Whereas your other foot is still planted firm, and the sand seems packed enough.
Okay, I guess I'll dig my foot out.
Okay. You dig your foot out, and as you move some of the sand, you reveal a piece of wood, and on top of it is a sloped piece of wood, kind of close to the weather vane.
What condition's the wood in?
Not terrible. I mean, you'd think that if the wood was freed, it could last maybe 2 or 3 years just fine on its own. It's been treated because it still has some moisture kind of to it. It's not dried out and cracked.
And how deep is that?
After you move the sand and everything else like that, it's about a foot.
I'll continue digging down the line of the wood.
Okay. You use prestidigitation, move down the line of the wood, and you start to make a very familiar shape out of it. The shape of a roof.
Hey guys, we're on top of the place.
Do I have any pictures of what any of the area around any of this may be, Hazen, from reading my books?
You have an artistics rendition. You might be able to see if one of the buildings has a weather vane of the same shape on it.
I'm going to step back from archic digging and try to scour my book for that picture and a few other things, and see if what's listed matches roughly what I have.
Make a history check. It takes you, admittedly, about half an hour of Where's Waldoing it with these buildings before you finally find the correct one. And what you see is an old temple that's at least 3 stories high.
Something potentially stupid.
Well, whatever that potentially stupid thing is, it's going to have to wait till next week because we are out of time, unfortunately.
Yay!
I hope.
Plot hanger.
Yep, I hope everybody watching had fun. Thank you, your boy Purple, Boo Bear, and Montoast for hosting us, and of course everybody here that hosted it.
Thank you guys.
Yep. I hope you
See
had
you
a
next week.
Yep. Hope you had a wonderful time, same day. Hopefully a little earlier. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.